Guys, we're here with a very special person today. Yeah, my father. So you're obviously well known, in other countries, Eastern Europe. Now, since we're making this video for the American audience, English-speaking audience, can you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm 55 years old, 30 years in business since, maybe even 31, since 24. Before 24, I was a musician, professional, so I never even thought about the business. So I started late. You started 16, I started 24. Not from the business family, you from the business family.
Yeah.
And my father is music teacher and mother is an engineer, so I grew up in Soviet Union. But last 30 years I'm very deeply involved in the business. Was built many companies. Biggest company that I built is 700 restaurants, probably the biggest in the world, Sushi chain. It's from Eastern Europe. I did it in 6 years, grew from basically zero to $200 million in sales.
6 years.
In 6 years, yes. So that's my biggest achievement so far in business.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy tremendously business. I teach for 15 years already.
Mm-hmm.
So 30 years business experience, building large companies, and half of that time I'm teaching almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's my passion to teach and my passion to build big companies.
You said you used the word tremendously enjoy business. Why do you tremendously enjoy business?
For me, since I was a musician, I like creativity. Music is very emotional and creative. And the business for me is even more creative than music, because in music I was playing some other composer material, and in business I am composer. Plus my number one value is freedom. And business gives me absolute freedom. I can do whatever I want, when I want, travel all over the world, and I decide what has to be done, and other people do what I decide. So I love freedom, that nobody tells me what to do.
Why is that freedom so important to you?
It's hard to tell. I was born like that. I hated Soviet Union.
There was no freedom.
Yes, since I was a child, I had to do what other people told me to do. Was very strict. I hated it all the time. So when I left Soviet Union, I was 20 years old, your age. I arrived to New York. It was the happiest day of my life, since
Really?
I felt free. I can do whatever I want.
You felt that freedom right away in New York?
Yes. I felt that this is the country of unlimited opportunities.
So at 24 you started business. What were you doing my age? 20.
My first job was in pizzeria.
When you just came to New York?
Just came to New York November 7. December 15 I found a job in the pizzeria. I was making pizza, $4 per hour. For 1 year. Then I went to start in Queens College, first Kingsborough College in Brooklyn, then Queens College, and also working in the pizzeria. Then I moved to California, worked as a waiter for a year. Then I found a job in the office, in the law office. I was a secretary, my first job, then became an office manager, and then I opened up my own business.
So we'll circle back to that in just a second on how that whole process was when you opened up your own business. By the way, what did you study in college? You never told me. Maybe you told me, I just forgot.
In college, liberal arts.
Really?
All different classes, philosophy, psychology. Was just taking classes. After music, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was basically searching for myself. Then I graduated with a legal bachelor degree in legal studies. So it was emphasis in legal. I thought maybe I'm gonna be a lawyer, but I didn't go to law school. But
Was it worth it going to college?
no,
If you could go back, you wouldn't have went?
no.
Why not?
I love to learn, but I hate college. I hate when somebody tells me, when somebody initiates what I have to know.
Yeah.
I like to be a leader and decide what I want to learn and ask millions of questions. And so I'm learning much more now than every day and every year that in college, because I have access. If you have a desire and discipline, you have access to all the knowledge now.
So you don't think the traditional...
I believe in self-education.
Yeah. For everybody?
Not for everybody, for somebody with my temperament and my character.
So you think that college does not give you the freedom to self-educate yourself on what you want to educate yourself on?
Maybe, but it's definitely not for me. For somebody who like to be passive and come to the class and basically teach me whatever, most of the people like that, that's okay. For me, I always, in any moment, have strong desire to know something, and it means that I have always questions. And if I have questions, the teacher's supposed to answer me, but he, in the typical college, he has to tell me what he wants to tell me. It doesn't work with me.
Did you find out that it's not for you after the fact that you went? During?
I
Before?
felt it there. I didn't enjoy. I didn't enjoy, but...
What about going into it? Did you think going into
I
it?
just didn't know what to do, so, I mean, what else to do? I was working in the pizzeria. English was important for me. In college, I was just learning English.
Right. Okay. What were you doing before you came to New York?
I was one of the best trombone young player in Soviet Union. I was, my teacher was like one of the best in the world. And the college is equivalent to the best, like Harvard of music in Soviet Union.
And why'd you quit?
When I came to United States, I thought that I'm going to be a musician. But in the United States, I felt that I'm first generation immigrant. I need something more practical and more material than I need to make money. I could not rely on anybody. I want to marry. I need to make money, basically. And in music, I didn't feel that I can make good money.
Was there some sort of pain when you let go of music?
Very big pain. It was huge love of my life, big passion. Music was like I love business now.
Yeah.
I used to love music. It was very, very difficult.
But now you still play the trombone nowadays, so you got back into it.
Yes, so I live in two worlds.
Yeah, after moving and feeling this big pain, how much time went by for you to understand, all right, like now I have a different passion, now I have a different love for money, for business?
I started business in 24, but when I was 24, but I cannot tell that I was passionate about business until I became 30 years old.
Yeah.
Between 24 and 30, I was more interested in personal development, to understand the meaning of life, the basic fundamental things, which was more important than business. I mean, business didn't inspire me so much because I had so many questions that my soul was soul searching. And that was my 80% focus, and business was 20% focus since 24 to 30. It was I was quite successful. I had 200 employees, $30 million revenue by 28, 29 already. But I was not so passionate about business. When I turned 30 years old, I basically found the answers to many questions that I had. spiritual questions, and all my energy was already dedicated to business. And I started to look at business differently. I found creativity in business. I felt like a builder, not operator, builder, to build a business.
Yeah.
So I started to learn management a lot, and how to manage large organizations became my passion. Biggest passion is how to build and manage large organizations.
Interesting. So you opened up your business when you were 24, your first business. When was that business successful?
Right away.
Right away?
I mean, it was not right away big. It was growing, but success every year, success.
And you grew that to 30 million in annual revenue while having an 80-20 focus, 80% spiritual.
Maybe 70-30.
How were you successful? What do you know that other people don't know?
Without even knowing anything, it was like talent or something, not to do anything myself. I hated, always since I was young, I hated doing with my own hands. I always asked my parents to do something for me, and they were very mad. They wanted me to do it. And in business was like that. When they made first money, they start buying stuff.
Yeah.
But stuff never inspired me. Cars, all material things never inspired me very much. So money that I was making, I was investing in people, and I was just telling what to do, and they did it. That's why, and it doesn't take so much time to tell what to do.
Right.
It takes a few seconds.
Right.
Please build me this house. It takes 3 seconds, but to build the house, it takes
a long time.
It takes a year.
So when you learn the art of delegation and telling somebody else what to do,
it was, I didn't even have to learn for some reason. It's very natural for me.
Interesting.
I was bossing around my parents when I was young.
So that kind of, I gotta start bossing you around now.
What do you say?
I said I gotta start bossing you around then. Learn from you.
Try.
So when you learn, or actually came naturally for you delegating, that freed up your time to be able to make more
to soul searching, personal development, and just making it 20% making the decisions.
Yeah. But that also freed up your time for more creative business decisions and thinking about what to do.
Yes,
and
to
having
build the
somebody else
business,
do it.
not operate the business.
Interesting.
I was operating like a CEO, but with the delegation.
Okay, so what ended up happening with that first business that you opened up?
I closed it after 10 years. I decided to start. Could not sell it, so I had to wind down, close.
Okay, and what did you do
I moved to Europe.
At 34?
35.
35.
Yeah.
I was already born.
Yeah, you were 1 year old.
1 year old.
1 or 2, something.
We went to Ukraine.
Yes.
And then what were you doing in Ukraine?
I worked with my friend. He's a billionaire in his company. But I had also piece in projects that we did.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the project?
Was we built the retail.
Supermarkets?
Supermarkets, yes. We built 55 supermarkets. I built it from scratch, 55 supermarkets in 7 months. No, in 5 months. First 7 months preparation. From the idea to first, took 7 months. From first to 55th, took another 5 months.
Wow.
By the end of the year, we had 1,100 employees from zero.
Did
so I already was experienced how to build fast company. The scale is the most exciting for me.
Right. Did you feel like you were more capable at this point in your career than when you were just starting off your first business?
Of course. I felt that I was 35, 36. I felt that I'm so good and so powerful.
Yeah?
Yes, I felt. But compared to what I know now, it's even hard for me to imagine the difference.
Yeah.
But I have probably felt more confident back then than now.
Back then at 35?
Yeah, but confidence is not necessarily good.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be confident enough to be active,
Right.
not to be a just thinker and not. I mean, I never had a problem with acting, with doing. So confidence for me was probably negative than positive.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt me more than helped.
It was more like
because
ego.
I feel positive, I feel confident, and I make fast decisions without thinking much.
And not learning.
And mistakes.
Did you also feel like you were
I had less fear than now.
Did you kind of also feel like you knew a lot of what there is to know, therefore you didn't have to learn more information?
Probably, yes. Yeah, when you're very confident, you feel that you know everything.
Mm-hmm.
But fear is good for somebody like me,
mm-hmm.
who just acts, who likes to act, no problem with acting.
So we'll continue on with the story because I'm interested to see like what happens after that point. But I want to kind of go back in time. Most people, myself included, when they start their first business, maybe even second and third and fourth, they don't become successful, right? There's a saying, I'm not sure if you heard of it. First you have uneducated optimism, right? You don't know about something, but you're optimistic about the opportunity. Then you have educated pessimism, because you start to educate yourself on the opportunity, now you have pessimism. And most people stop at this point once they see the insides of the business model, see it's not as easy, sunshine and rainbows as they thought originally. And now they have pessimism, and then they find the next golden opportunity, right? And they go in this cycle 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. For everyone it's different. Why didn't you have that moment? Why was your first business successful?
Yeah, a lot of people, first businesses in not successful, and then later they become successful. For me, my first business was successful. The reason why, because first I worked in the company
mm-hmm.
as a manager, and I saw how the business works, and I started the same business already knowing 80%.
Mm-hmm.
But when you open the company and you never worked in the similar company,
mm-hmm. It's a different story.
You don't know the details. I knew all the details.
Okay. So if you were to go back in time, you would...
That's what I recommend.
To work in the company.
That's ideal. To work, if you want to open a restaurant, to work in the restaurant, to become a manager of the restaurant, so you know the numbers, you know all the details, and then to open a restaurant or in any business. To work in the business and see how the business make money and open the same. So when you make a business plan, you already know the numbers.
Right.
If you open up the business without working, you cannot even have a business plan, because you cannot have an assumptions. Your assumptions means nothing.
But I'm sure it's still different, like working on somebody else's money and getting paid a salary, to then like putting up the risk yourself, putting up capital.
Yes, but it's easier because you
understand.
You understand. It was not difficult for me. I didn't have any fear, because it was obvious how they make money. Client comes, pays this much money. I knew how much they're paying me and how much is left, and I see how they live. They make a lot of money. I didn't know exactly. And I knew everything, A, B, C, D, so I just had to do it myself. Yeah.
Some people, like, they work at companies and they're completely unaware.
But in the big company, it's different. When if I worked in the big company, still I'm somebody small in the big company that don't understand all.
The whole.
But
process.
I worked in the small company and
okay.
I understood almost everything.
So if you were to go back, you would still work at a small business. For how many years did you work at the law office?
8 months. It was
8
enough
months.
for me.
8 months. So you'd work there for maybe a year in a small business inside of the niche that you want to potentially go into business.
I didn't know that I want to open. I just went to work there. I was not even thinking about the business.
Right.
It just happens. You telling the totally different situation.
Yeah.
So when you like consciously want to open business, first you go. It was not like that.
It was just
with me.
a moment for you.
It was just happening.
Interesting.
Without a plan.
Interesting. What do you think makes that difference? Why do you think?
No. But if you have already desire to open the business, it's still good idea to go and to work for half a year, 4 months, whatever,
Right.
to understand how the business works and then open.
It's very interesting because, like, just an example, me and Kolya, we were just leaving the airport to come here, and we knew how much it costs to get the transfer, that need tour or whatever the company name they're offering. It's like they were asking for 200 euros, something like that, right? But then there was the guy who had like the need tour sign, the actual driver, and we came up to him, we asked him how much, and he didn't know the price, you know? So there's like guys like that get paid 15 an hour, whatever, however much they get paid. It's not my concern. They don't even know how much the company is making. They just kind of do their thing, unaware of the business processes that are going around them, just completely blind, just doing the task.
That's I was like that first couple of years when I worked in the pizzeria, as a waiter. I never thought about the money in business.
You're like, I'm selling this guy a pizza for $15, but I'm getting $15 for the whole day.
I was thinking about, I don't even know what I was thinking about, honestly.
Yeah.
Now 100% of the time thinking about business, and I was 0%
Wow.
when I was your age.
Wow, so I definitely do have a head start. Sometimes I feel like because I see some 14-year-olds getting started now. I'm
Never
like,
compare yourself.
I know.
It's a very, very bad idea
to
to compare yourself with other people.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own path.
Mm-hmm.
You could be until 50, successful but not very, but from 50 to 70 you could become the richest person in the world. You never know.
Yeah.
Everybody's path is very, very different.
Okay.
So never compare.
So let's get back to the 35. You're 35, you're in Ukraine. You start this supermarket business with a billionaire, right? You help him grow. You open up all these locations in a span of a year. What happens next?
We sold the company. I moved back to United States because your mother didn't want to live there, and I didn't want to see you grow and your brother.
Yeah.
So I moved there.
And what were you focused on when you came back?
I started my business school. I had already 16 years of experience. It was so much to share.
Yeah.
And I already had a lot of students. They were not my students, but they were asking questions.
Right.
Because my management style was always coaching style. I was in every meeting was like a coach, like teacher. Because I never did anything myself, so I was teaching them to work, how to work properly. So a lot of people already asking me questions, and I started business school.
Okay, so
already
this
15
was
years.
what year? This was what year?
2010.
It's 2010. Was YouTube even a thing in 2010? YouTube.
2009.
2009.
But was no Facebook.
No social media platforms?
Twitter was Twitter.
Twitter. How were you getting your leads? How were you getting your students?
Google.
Google?
Google PPC.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. People would search a business coach?
Yes.
Wow.
But I was not doing management. I was just teaching. I had managers always in school. So they were focusing on the business. I was teaching every day.
Wow, so you're doing your lead generation from PPC. What about like word of mouth? The people that were buying your program, getting your coaching from you,
Oh, of course.
did they
word
know
of
who you
mouth.
were, or they just like, oh, this ad, let's kill it? Because there was no YouTube, they couldn't watch a podcast of your life.
No. But I think in 2011 we started posting on YouTube.
Really? Interesting. Interesting. And what were you teaching when you just started off?
The same program. It's teaching millionaire's mind and how to grow how to open business, and then how to from small company to grow to a large company. The same I teach now, because it's the three most important topics: mindset, right philosophy, it's foundation, then small business, and then how from small business to build a large business.
So when you opened up your school, you didn't have an active business that you were working on at the time, right?
No, I had investments, but not as a CEO.
Yeah, you just came back from Ukraine. Now you're in the States, you're in New York, we're growing up. How old am I at this point? 4 or 5?
Six.
Six.
You 6. Eric is
I'm 6.
8.
8, yeah. My older brother, Eric, he's 8.
I was driving you to school every day, picking up from school, remember?
Yeah. Well, like, why open up a business school? Like, how did that idea even come into your mind?
Also naturally, because demand was, I didn't have a school, but people asking me to give a lesson.
Really?
Yeah, I gave lessons on Skype. Was Skype back then. Remember Skype?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a group chat.
How did they know you?
And
How did they find
because
you?
I worked there with thousands of people in a large company.
Oh, okay. So it's mostly those people that were from
employees
Ukraine.
of that, managers of the
Okay.
yes.
Interesting.
And the knowledge was scarce back then. There was no YouTube, so what I knew was very, very precious for them, and they were like,
yeah.
it's hard to now you when you
Right. Yeah. Now there's social media.
Yes,
You can
yes.
collect information. Now
So it was big demand.
Yeah.
And one guy from the group that I was teaching for free, he said, can I become manager of your school? He told me the idea, let's do it. I will manage everything. I said, okay, if you want, let's do it.
And this guy sitting in
And
the room.
he started that, yes.
Is this guy sitting in the room with us today?
No.
No? It's a different guy. No?
That's interesting. Wow. So first you just had
Like people hitting you up, asking you to do lessons. You were doing lessons for free.
Yes, and one of the students, he offered, that was his idea.
He's like, I'll monetize
Yes,
this.
he saw so many people wants to learn,
Yeah.
and he said, I will start charging money and managing, and I said, okay, and it starts growing very fast.
So how long were you doing free lessons for until like that student?
Maybe 3-4 months.
And how many people
I would
were...
do it for free now also. I still enjoy, it's not, you know, the business school is not doing it for money. I don't treat this as a business. I just love talking about the business and teaching people.
Why?
First of all, I understand myself better business. When I teach, there is a saying, if you want to learn something, the best way is to start teaching it.
Yeah.
I had enough knowledge, 16 years of experience, 15, now 30 years, even much more. But back then I was 40 years old already, so much experience, so much success. I felt that I have something to say, and I saw demand. Very enjoyable. To teach somebody is very, very enjoyable.
It is.
I mean, and interesting.
Yeah. You learn about yourself.
I learn about myself, and I see the difference in other people.
Yeah. Is that important to you? Like to be able to help other people, provide value?
It's enjoyable. It's just enjoyable when I see some success in the people, in other people, and in this success,
Yeah.
I have something.
You know,
My knowledge, it's just enjoyable.
that's like the biggest form of charity. When not only do you give someone fish,
Teach
but you
them,
teach them how to fish.
That's exactly.
And he could go on and without you and be.
But for me, it's not mental. It's not like, oh, I'm helping other people. It's so good. It's right. I just love it.
Yeah. You love it, but they love it, and you're giving them value, and you're getting value yourself.
Yes.
It's just a win-win overall situation.
But it's not because it's just theoretically good things
Yeah.
to do. It's just I just like it.
Hmm. What do you think about like the coaches who, start their coaching programs because they want to make money? They don't like teaching people. They actually do not provide anyone any value.
It's like a doctor who treats patients for money. It's
Yeah.
very, very dangerous. They
Yeah.
should be in jail, those
Yeah.
doctors. Because if the doctor is doing it for money, he would
Prescribe him all sorts of medication.
he would prescribe you something that he would not go to jail for prescribing,
Mhm.
on the one hand, but on the other hand, he wants you to be sick.
So you come
So
back.
you come every week.
But like, why do you think that so many people talk about the fact that this info business is so like scammy, you can say, but no one talks about doctors being.
A lot of people talks about doctor now that are scammer, and lawyers. Almost every lawyer, when you come with a problem, he wants the problem to go longer so he can make money.
Make more money.
Yeah,
Interesting.
very dangerous people, doctors and lawyers,
It
and
is.
teachers, many teachers. And the bad reputation in info business, because they promise something that is not achievable.
Yeah.
And people are naive, and so you can make $1 million in 2 weeks. I can teach you. Pay me $30. To pay
Yeah.
$30 and whatever, $100. The promise is the seducing.
Yeah, but let's say
Which
with
is bad.
with your business coaching, you promise someone, or not promise, but you say, hey, listen, I can help you if you apply 2x your business, 3x your business, and you genuinely can. So in a way, you're making maybe not a direct promise, but an indirect promise, right?
It's not a promise.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just explaining what I can teach.
Right.
And like I can show the results of other people, and
Yeah.
the person wants to know, he's paying money and most important time. So what I'm gonna get? So I'm not just explaining, but I cannot promise anything because I cannot give you a fish. I can teach you how to fish, but I cannot fish instead. I cannot. You should do it. I will explain everything. But if you will not do it, like exactly with a good doctor tells you exactly what to do, what to eat, what not to eat. But if you're not following his prescription, nothing gonna happen.
Yeah. Do you think sales is manipulation?
Depends who is selling, ethical person or unethical person. It's a very, very small difference. You can be very ethical salesperson. You can be totally unethical if you change something a little bit.
Yeah. How do you describe manipulation?
Lying to the person, exaggerating, for the purposes, obviously, to make money.
What's the difference between manipulation and influence?
Influence it's when you convincing the other person in something that you truly, honestly believe. Believe yourself, and if you in his shoes, you would do it. You would do the same. So you want to teach him, for example, what you are using, And if you were a student, you want a teacher like that, who would teach you that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you change the places, then it's influence.
Mm-hmm. And manipulation.
If then you know that you are cheating him, that you would wanna.
You're convincing him to do something that you know
That
is bad for him.
you would not wanna do.
Mm-hmm.
In his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You would, if you in his shoes, you would not wanna do, but you trying to convince him to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think is the most important thing in sales?
The most important in sales to really understand what person needs. Like a doctor, good doctor, first is diagnosis. There are so many different problems. So you can have, you should understand what's the problem and what exactly this person needs.
Mm-hmm.
By asking questions, you ask questions, you understand what he needs, like, as a doctor. And then you do prescription. You say, I strongly believe you need to learn sales,
mm-hmm.
marketing, management. You explain why, and say, here's the pharmacy. I have a pharmacy. If you want, you can buy this. I can teach you this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not manipulation. You like a doctor.
What if
honest doctor? You see his problem.
Yeah. What if you did the questions, you found out that this person will actually be a good fit for your prescription, for your business, but the person has some objections, right? And he has to think about it, and he has to do this, talk to his wife, and so forth. Would you continue to move forward and try to explain to him and convince him?
I wouldn't.
You would just let him
I wouldn't,
make a
but I
decision.
know that it's probably wrong in sales.
Yeah.
That's why I would not be a typical salesman.
You don't want to change someone's mind.
I don't want to change his mind.
Yeah. How important do you think sales
he needs to want more than me. The student need teacher more than, I mean, it's not right when teacher needs student more than student need teacher.
Yeah, that's true.
When the patient need doctor more than doctor need patient. So it's stupid if doctor would try to convince. I mean, it's his problem, not my problem. So if you want treatment, here's the treatment.
Yeah. How important do you think sales, the skill of sales is for business? Maybe we could say sales.
I don't like the word sales.
Communication.
No, I don't like this word. For me, it's convincing, persuading.
Persuading.
It's very important. First, you believe something. Second, you persuade. You convince other people in what you believe.
Yeah.
Passionately. So, and you can say it's sales, but I'm not.
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Better word to use.
Yeah. So the person has a problem, and you try to persuade him for his sake. You know for sure that if he starts doing this, his life will be better.
Yeah.
So you use the skills of persuasion.
Right.
Many skills.
If you were to rank how important sales is on all of the skills that you need, or let's say persuasion, if you were to rank how important persuasion is in all the skill sets in business, where would you rank it?
Number one.
Number one.
Because in management, in leadership, you persuade every conversation is persuasion. With employees, with investors, with customers, you have to persuade something.
In marketing.
It's all about persuasion. It's not only to have something, but you have to explain what you have.
Yeah.
I have a job when you're hiring somebody. I have a company that is going to be $1 billion company. So you persuade him to join you. You persuade investors to invest. You persuade clients to buy.
Yeah, very interesting topic. Maybe on the next, since we don't have a lot of time, maybe on the next podcast we can dive a little bit more in depth into business skill sets. You can give some sauce and value when it comes to there. But I want to resume back to what we were talking about. 35, or actually you're in Ukraine for a couple of years now. When did you come back to the States?
When I was 40.
40.
Approximately.
You open up your school. Your school is going successfully. What happens? How do you become the largest sushi chain in the world? How do you own Sushi Master? What happens?
I started in 2016. Actually, it was my student. He started this company and he came to learn how to scale.
How long were you teaching just business? How long did you just have your business school for?
6 years before I started.
From 2010 to 2016?
Yeah, I had some businesses also, but nothing that became big.
Mm-hmm.
But this company became big. I saw his company. He started to learn. Actually, he started to learning in my school and started the company. Already using this knowledge, opened first 12 restaurants. Wanted to grow bigger.
Wow, sorry to interrupt you. So when he just started his company, that's when he just started learning from you?
He started to learn and then he started.
And started the company,
Yeah.
wow. He grew it to 12.
Grew to 12 and he came to actually in Turkey, here in Turkey, 2014 to my exactly the same seminar.
Just to give you guys some context, we're in a business seminar right now, and we just decided to do a podcast here.
Yeah.
So he came to the podcast. He came to the not podcast.
Yeah,
the
and
seminar.
I started to ask him deeply about his business, and I saw the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So this can become a $1 billion company. I was all these years I was looking for the next idea to build a $1 billion company.
Yeah.
And I offered him. I said, if you want, let's do it together. And he said, of course.
Right away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
so
crazy going into a partnership with your coach.
We
like with
grew
your
it from
mentor.
12 to 700 in 6 years.
Wow.
215 cities, 15 countries, 700 restaurants.
700 restaurants across the world. Largest sushi chain.
I think so.
Yo, guys, if you're ever... Where's
McDonald's of sushi.
Yeah. What's like the closest location to maybe the States? Budapest? Maybe the closest. If you guys are ever in Budapest, check out Sushi Master. Not a paid sponsorship, by the way. I have to call up Igor, he has to know. Send me some bands. That's interesting. So what drove you, like why did you see the opportunity in this business model?
Because I saw that every restaurant is profitable.
Mm-hmm. All 12.
Yeah, and I knew that in United States, sushi. Actually, you don't even know one of the reasons that I went to this business.
Really? Me?
Yes.
What about?
Because you always, when I was in New York, you always wanted to ask me to order sushi. Remember?
Yeah. Me and Eric and...
Yes,
both like
you
sushi.
and Eric always sushi, so you never asked me to order pizza.
Yeah.
So I understood that the popularity will become in Russia, will become as popular as in the United States.
Yeah.
And big pizza chain existed, Domino's Pizza and Pizza Hut, but there was no sushi chain. And delivery was the same, pizza and sushi.
Yeah. There's still no sushi chain in America.
Still no sushi chain, so it's a big opportunity. We
Still.
will go probably next year and we will start in the United States.
You guys heard that? Where's the first location?
Probably Miami.
Miami. Yes, sir. You got some competition over there. Some good sushi spots.
It's okay. we are not a restaurant, fancy restaurant.
Delivery.
We are focused on the delivery.
Interesting.
Like Pizza Hut and Domino's Pizza.
Interesting. Interesting. So, is there like, because I know for some people, they feel some sort of problem, some sort of pain internally, and then they start a business to help other people fix that pain, fix those problems. For you, it doesn't really sound like it's like that, or am I wrong? for you, it's just about making money and working with a team and a cool business model that is scalable.
For me, demand. I saw that demand will
Yeah.
arise in Eastern Europe. It's not so popular, but I saw that it's becoming more popular. And I saw that in United States, everybody is ordering sushi already.
So you didn't have like the pain of, oh, there's no good sushi where I'm at in Ukraine, so I want to.
No, it was already in Eastern Europe. It was already good sushi, but
Yeah.
I saw the market will grow, the
Yeah.
size of the pie will grow.
Have you ever had that process of starting a business where you started it because of a pain that you felt, and then you wanted to solve that problem for a specific prototype for a specific person?
Yes. Last year, I started an investment in real estate company that people can invest in real estate with a small amount of money. It was pain. You want to invest in real estate, but
you
you need to have a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you have $1,000, you cannot invest in real estate. You can buy stock, but you cannot invest in real estate. So I started because I saw this basically pain. I started this company.
So that's
a year
like
ago.
that's like two separate things. Like you're starting this company because you see a problem, you see pain, and you want to solve that problem, that pain. And then you just start the sushi company because you just see that it's making money, and you see that there's demand.
I see that can become thousands.
So there's different ways of like choosing a business model, right? Sometimes
Yes.
you do what you feel passionate
Yes,
about.
some entrepreneurs are good in finding pain. I'm not so good. Sometimes I can do it, but I'm not so good.
Like more boring
good at
businesses.
already seeing successful small business that I can make it large. That's what I'm good at.
So for you, it's just a business that I could scale.
Scale.
And a team that I
I'm
could
just
work
looking
with.
for business that can be scaled to $1 billion.
So it's just
from-
about dollar figures for you.
Yes.
You know, because there's some people who don't care about the dollar figures, and they want to just solve a specific problem, and they would rather lose money solving this specific problem than get into waste management.
I don't want to solve any problems. I just love
Yeah.
build from small to large.
Yeah.
I can do it from the beginning from the beginning, but not that's not what I enjoy so much in the beginning. I enjoy seeing the city champion, I call it,
Yeah.
in one city champion, very good business, and to do this all over the world.
You think guys like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs are the ones that are
No, they're different.
they're different than you? They're the
They're
ones.
product people.
They're
Steve
the
Jobs is-
ones that see problems and pains and start a business because of
Elon
it.
Musk problem pain. Steve Jobs no. Steve Jobs is just fanatical about the product.
Yeah, but he saw the pain that there was no iPhone, and he really loved creating an iPhone. You know,
Not
you can
so- I
argue.
don't agree. I think I know how he felt. He inventor. And Elon Musk is like that.
So you don't see yourself as an inventor.
I'm inventor in management. I'm inventing
In systems.
management system, how to scale business by right management, different management. My management style is very different than most.
Why can't most
I'm a composer there. I'm creating the management system, but I'm not a product guy.
inventor? Yeah, interesting. So business,
Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, product.
yeah,
guys.
business has so many like moving pieces to it. It's different types of people, different types of entrepreneurs. It's very interesting.
Buffett is totally different.
Yeah,
He's not
product guy.
neither.
Yeah,
He's just buying already
existing business.
great businesses.
Interesting. Wow.
So there are many different ways. You have to find your style in
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, that's interesting. Why do you think that most business owners can't scale a business to the level that you scaled your business to?
They have no knowledge. Two reasons. First reason, not a big desire. Most business owners, they make pretty comfortable money and they don't have big desire to scale. But those who have desire don't have knowledge.
They
You
don't,
need
they don't have the know-how.
big desire to build company, large company, and it cannot be money. Money cannot be motivation, because when you make certain amount of money, even in small business, usually it's you live comfortable life. So it's not about money. It's just an ambition to play in the NBA of business.
Right.
And then knowledge. So much knowledge, which I teach in my business school. The knowledge that you need. But I can only teach the person who has a huge desire, real desire to build, to scale his company to the minimum 100 million and up to billion and more.
Mm-hmm. So most people don't have the know-how. The ones that do have the desire, they don't have the know-how.
Yeah. So they have to learn.
How did the know-how come to you?
Because of the big desire, and I started to
Mistakes.
practice, and I learned so much from the best books, from the best teachers.
Mm-hmm. So
going to the seminars, reading, so I was like very hungry for knowledge and 30 years of experience.
yeah, so an entrepreneur who has a proven business model, you know, it's profitable, has a desire to scale his business.
That's the best client,
Yeah.
the best student and potential partner,
Right.
for me.
So one that has those two, a good proven business model and the desire, but he doesn't have the know-how. How long will it take him to get the know-how by himself if he was scattering around the internet, looking for maybe YouTube videos?
If he
making
is
mistakes?
as smart as me, 30 years. Took me 30 years. If he is twice smarter, 15 years. If he is twice more stupid,
60 years.
60 years. Very simple.
And how long with you? How long if you were to teach them the know-how?
10 times faster.
Wow.
10 times. I mean, I cannot know exactly, but much faster.
Mm-hmm.
The reason you learn,
Mm-hmm.
the only reason is to be able to do it much faster. So without proper knowledge takes you 10 years. With the knowledge, with proper knowledge, if you have a good teacher, it would take you 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only time; it's money and effort and
Of course.
sleepless night. If you just don't know, you cannot sleep at night. If you know it, when you know, it's very simple.
Yeah. What do you think is more valuable, time or money?
Neither. The most valuable is desire.
But if you had to choose one of the two, what would it be?
Time or money?
Yeah.
Time for what?
Time?
You mean age, when you're like 20 or 50 years old?
Yeah, like what's more of a scarce resource? Time or money?
When you don't have money. When you have money, time.
But there's
Depends.
There's an unlimited amount of money that we can make, but there's a limited amount of time that we can
No,
live.
can and make it's different. I mean, if the person is rich,
Yeah.
the most important is time. When the person is not rich, the most important is money.
Yeah.
But even more important is passion.
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't invest into coaching programs because they can learn it by themselves, but it takes them 10 times longer to learn it by themselves.
And it's no guarantee. I
And
mean,
no
you
guarantee.
can learn by yourself and still
Yeah.
you didn't figure out.
So if you value your time more than your money, you would pay money up front to learn what you want to get, the dream outcome that you want, in 10 times shorter amount of time.
A good analogy is the key. The teacher is a key.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you need to open the door and you don't have a key. So if the teacher gives you a key, you just open the door.
Right.
You open the door. If you don't have a key,
You're going to be breaking down the door
you
with
cannot break. You need to make a key yourself.
Yeah. Mm.
How long it's gonna take you to make a key and find the right key?
Yeah.
So you make a key, doesn't work. Another one doesn't work.
Interesting. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.